huge difference doing this versus that. I even saw 10 to 11 kilometers per kilowatt hour. Also uses the regen brake even when you are reversing. And this is first angle versus. Let me just show you all the way to there. The under panel of the car as well, completely covered up. Welcome to Cars in Korea. I introduce newly released Genesis, Hyundai, and Kia cars. And not that you should care, I actually just got back from Busan to Seoul here. I pulled an all-nighter, drove the car for 6 hours straight for over 400 to 500 kilometers. FYI, I actually have been driving this car for 1,000 kilometers for the past 3 days. The last test drive video I've done with the EV3, well, if you haven't checked it out, please feel free to check it out before watching today's video, because one, I have 40-minute long video with the EV3, including the regular model and the GT line, where I went over in-depth review of the exterior and interior. I mean, it's a 40-minute long video. It has everything in it. Just because I have it inside the trunk, it says this is the EV3 package. Welcome gift when you get the car. It comes in a box like this. Warning triangle, nothing inside. The digital key too. Don't want to open it, but I do feel a hard plastic card inside. A nice little pouch. So it is the owner's manual. It's really recommended that you spend some time, going through all this owner's manual, because you'll actually discover a lot of things that you probably didn't know about the car, even if you have watched all this review videos on YouTube. That's just pretty much it. Well, nothing special, to be honest. Let me show you what's underneath right there, so you can tuck it in like I did, just like that. So you can easily do it with one single hand like I did, just like so. So you see how deep that is? So that's the tire mobility kit, the V2L. It's been a while here in Korea that Hyundai Motor Group cars did not get the spare tires. Well, that is mostly because in Korea, we have really great and fast responding emergency service, insurance service, record truck and all. So that is one of the reasons why. So you don't see anything underneath. Obviously, I have the measuring tape. Let me give you this measure too. And this is what I actually have covered in my previous video. Right here, I am actually seeing 15.5 centimeters. I actually have measured this in my previous video. I came up with a measurement video, a video dedicated for the measurements only. So please feel free to check that video out. Once again, thank you very much to those of you guys who actually left the questions. Let me just show you all the way to there. So you see all these bullets. Obviously, all the memory is super fresh with me here. I've been driving the car for the past 6 hours straight, over 1,000 kilometers on this car. I might be jumping here and there for the obvious reasons, so please bear with me. Hopefully you guys would understand. And before answering and going over the whole questions, I actually have a few things that I really want to point out. Number one is those NBA theme. There is the digital cluster theme that you can actually choose from for a subscription model. The price, I believe, is to be confirmed, but it is somewhere around $20 to $25 per month subscription. Check it out if you are a big NBA fan, and NFL, MLB, those probably are in Kia's mind. And next is the frunk accessibility. Unlike the other EVs that we've been seeing thus far, you do not have to open up the frunk one more time in order to access the frunk of the EV3. The moment you pop the hood, you see the frunk right away. The cover and the sealing is actually all done on top of the bonnet. I mean, which I will show you right now, right? What is the charging speed, by the way? 59. I've seen it go all the way up to 70 kilowatts. So the number is actually jumping up and down. The blame is on the charger. So look at that. So anyhow, pop the trunk, pop the hood, so you can actually access the frunk right away, just like so. All the covers, everything is actually done on the hood. Everything is covered up. Just look at this. The under panel of the car as well. For the first time ever, you see it is completely covered up all the way from the front to the rear. It is completely covered up. That gets converted, added to the CD coefficient of drag, which helps with the driving efficiency, hence crazy driving range this EV3 gives. The second row seat recline. Tell me you guys can't see me. So use this lever, right? It locks at first angle, and this is first angle versus You can't even see my face. Look at that. So this is how leaned back you can get with the EV3, and you can actually control it in 4, 6, 7, 8, I counted over 10 myself. It's really hard to manually control it with this lever, so give it or take, there's about 12 different levels and clicks you can do with this car. Next one, there is actually this Tasty Road. It's a direct translation. The Ghia onboard navigation now offers restaurants, cafe, places that are frequently visited, people who actually use the Ghia navigation. It uses this big data and gives you those top-notch places. If it's available where you are, feel free to go in and cross-check with your knowledge, see if that is the case. Really helped out big time. I actually did end up going to a place that I found. Definitely do check it out if it's available where you are. And the charging port is really accessible with that tiny cap, Smart Touch by Ghia. I really hope that it will be available on future EVs to come. It is so much easy for you to cover and uncover the charging ports. A lot of people ask me if we can watch Netflix videos inside EV3, so let's go check it out. Close the trunk, all automated. No surprise there. Unfortunately, I'm not able to check that out for you, but you can watch Netflix and other OTT, the streaming services, where you are, but that is going to differ depending on the market. If it's not available right now, the car comes with OTA, over-the-air updates, so it might be possible and updated later in the future. OTA is possible because the car comes with CCNC, which stands for Connected Car Navigation Cockpit, that has two 12.3-inch monitors left and right, another 5-inch monitor in the middle dedicated for the AC and HVAC. So there are actually 3 different screens, split monitors, as you can see. And on my first test drive, I actually had the protective films on, so it was reflecting like crazy. And right now where I am, I think this is the most reflection you could expect to see when driving around in EV3. I am just cross-checking what I am seeing on the screen right now and to human eyes, and of course all this is the flickering, so this is of course solid light to human eyes. The reflection is not just as bad. All right, so this is pretty much what I am seeing right now. So you see what I mean by that? Now the reflection is far less than this, for the obvious reason. So nobody is going to be looking at the display from this angle. I did not see reflection any worse than this, so don't worry about it. Gotta find my seat and get back to the questions once again. Tell me I will be able to finish this video today. All right, so I did finish going over things that I wanted to tell you before going over the questions. So this is in the random order. I'll try to compile together similar categories, but I cannot guarantee, there are just so many questions. There are 2 ISOFIXes on the second row seat. You can fit 2 car seats, no problem whatsoever. It provides a crazy amount of legroom despite the size of this car being. But once again, do not be mistaken, this is not EV6, not EV9, so it's not large size SUV yet. It is the smallest EV SUV from Ghia for now, for the time being. This is actually quite similar to that of Ghia Seltos in terms of the size, or Niro, think of it that way. FYI, I will be coming up with the Niro comparison video in a week or 2. Right after shooting this video, I'm actually heading over to test drive the EV6 facelift one more time to give you that direct comparison of how each of the car drives like, because I have all this muscle memory of EV3 for the past 1,000 kilometers, right? I really am terribly sorry I'm jumping here and there. I did pull an all-nighter, so I'm not myself right now. Just trying my best. Please bear with me. Smart region brake now also stops the car too. I did mention about this, so please refer to that. It's really important, and it does make a huge difference. And I almost definitely want to say that is the #1 tech feature of this EV3. It is something that no other EVs had thus far, and it truly is amazing. And the car now also uses the region brake even when you are reversing. And when you don't like that, you can always turn it off in the menu. So this is the onboard camera shooting both front and rear. And there are cameras on the side mirrors too, providing that 360 view cam, but no, built-in Cam 2 does not work like Sentry mode of Tesla. It does not record the sides, but it only records both front and rear. And you can get some real-time footage. You can download it using Wi-Fi, and it now now also records the audio. The upgrade that the EV3 got is that it can now record up to 120 hours using the car's battery, which was not possible on previous models. And the question asked me about how wide does the door open, so I hope this will be the answer. So that is the second row opened all the way. This is where it locks itself, and you can push a little more to open a bit more extra like that, the first row. And these two together. I want to mention and tell you that it's a little tricky during the pitch black to actually precisely locate where the door handle is. If you are always sitting on the second row seat of the EV3, pretty sure you will be able to reach it and find out right away, but it does take some time to get used to. Door handles have been always here except for a few cars, but EV3 gets it right over here too. Tell me about what you think about this. And also this part being a piano black and the door handle here, I think it's going to be prone to scratches. So I would recommend that you put a bit of PPF, paint protection film, just on this corner only, because there's gonna be a lot of scratches from your nails and accessories and stuff, I think. How do you compare the driving experience between the EV3 and Niro EV? I am doing this next week. I will be driving Niro EV in Jeju Island here in Korea for a few hundred kilometers, I promise you that, to give you the direct feedback on that. So meet me over there in that video. Is the EV3 as happy to spin the front tires as the Niro EV? I know what you mean. I did try it several times. It could be because of the tires, but I wasn't really able to spin the front wheel. I'm pretty sure that Kia actually worked hard on the motor to gently control the traction of the front wheels. So that is actually now gone with EV3. A lot of techs and upgrades that's been made on this EV3 that you cannot really notice straight from the outside. There are just so much tech put behind. Yes, EV3 gets the heat pumps, but they're using the extra heat to increase the efficiency of the heat pump. Both Niro EV and EV3 are front wheel driven. Yes, there is no all-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive of EV3 in the market yet. I don't think there ever will be a rear-wheel drive EV3, but perhaps, fingers crossed, it might be an all-wheel drive EV3 if there is the EV3 GT. Kia said there will be EV3 GT variant, so most likely it will be all-wheel drive because GT, it needs to be powerful. A single motor is not gonna cut it. Rear motors are larger and stronger when it comes to the EGMP, Electric Global Modular Platform, that this EV3 used. And FYI, EV3 is the first car that is front-wheel driven using the EGMP. Kia has chosen to configure the EV3 with front-wheel drive to target customers looking for an affordable electric vehicle, emphasizing practicality and cost efficiency. 100% agreed. So this is like the ultimate one sentence about EV3. All right, next question. Road with air conditioning. So I assume it's talking about the NVH, noise, vibration, and harshness, how cozy, quiet it is. EV3 still gets this dual laminated double pressed front windows despite this car being a EV3, the lowest number of the EV family, and that's just only applied on the first row seat. The second row window does not have dual laminated glasses, but I want to say it is more than sufficient for what you're paying and for this car being the number 3, so there is no issue with that whatsoever. Around 100 km/h, there sure is a difference. The car does get noisy when you put this car on a highway, but that is the same with every single car. I want to say it's really quiet overall. It does not have active noise cancellation system like the other Kia cars do have. If you see those button looking things inside the interior, that is the active noise cancellation system. That actually plays a huge role of reducing the noise inside the cabin, and that is found in Genesis cars. Well, EV3 doesn't have it, so there is always a room for improvement. It's targeted price, targeted customers. I think people will be happy. I assure you, you will be happy about its performance in terms of the NVH, noise, vibration, and harshness of EV3. The price here in Korea is revealed. I will give you the price before the subsidy and after the subsidy, so you get the good idea of what it is like, and that is in Korean won. The price, of course, differs depending on where you are. The different markets get different strategies and different pricing on it. Often cases, Korean cars have the best deal in Korean markets, so the price probably would be slightly more expensive that I am listing right now. But once again, it's a direct conversion from Korean won to US dollars. It is not a final price by any means, so be sure to double check with your local dealerships. And if you still have your Seltos put it side by side to compare the size to, I do have my Seltos, but again, I could not find the time to do so. I did actually park it right next to Hyundai Kona, which is very similar to Kia Seltos, so including that footage right now, see for yourself. So hopefully that answers your question. So next one, looking forward to a night drive. I have plenty of that, including some of the footages. I did test out the automated high beam assist. It is not IFS, intelligent front lighting system, where it will gradually light up using each of the LED lightings and systems. So it does not work like the IFS that of a Genesis. No, it just automatically turns on and off the high beam, but it definitely is a lifesaver when you drive the car on a long distance drive on a highway during the nighttime. There are a lot of things that are automated in this EV3 which will help you with the drive, which yields to improved driving experience inside this EV3. Like, this thing is such a beauty. Like, trust me, you will love it. Going back to the night drive, looking forward to see any interior and exterior lighting, including all of that right now. I have plenty of B-rolls that I have captured, including some of them right now on the screen. Please lower the windows and measure the width over the tips of the mirrors. Wow, that is one precise question. I better answer that question, right? Let me actually do this. Measure the tip of the side mirror. So 29 centimeters attached right against this A-pillar, as you can see. So I actually clocked it right there at the window. Windows roll down. So I am measuring right here, 155. So just to play safe, I want to say it's 30 centimeters for one side mirror. Adding that together, it's 60, 155, so 215 centimeters, 10 centimeter buffer, right? Maybe just round it up, 230 centimeters. It is going to be smaller than that for sure. So I have a feeling that probably is because you want to fit this into your garage. If you have 230 centimeters, then you should be good. And you can always use the RSPA2, Remote Smart Parking Assist, automatically turn on the car and push the car forward and back. I mean, it's going to beep like crazy if it's tight, but it's gonna do the work. Previous Hyundai and Kia EVs, holding the left gear shifter could bring the car into a complete stop. Does this useful function apply in EV3 where iPedal 3.0 is introduced? This question is on point. So this is what I mean by, like, give me questions. Like, I love your questions. Like, this kind of question, you can only get it from a legit, a authentic, true EV owners. You guys see that? And ironically, I only found this out in my recent EV6 facelift video test drive. And I thought that was introduced for the first time in that video. I was not scolded, but a lot of people told me, hey, it's available on my first Ioniq 5, EV6, GV60, all bunch of EGMP EV from Hyundai Motor Groups just popped up. But well, thanks for sharing. Now I know. People want realistic range, not range in ideal conditions. That's just corporate stuff. If the AC takes so much range off of a car, the range is horrid. But a great video and review. Well, thank you. So I'm not going to include it in this Q&A. Please watch my long distance test drive video. The video is pretty much dedicated for this question. Well, quick answer to that. I was able to clock 6.0 kilometer per kilowatt hour on an average. That's putting together highway and city drives, but mostly highway drives and going on a fast pace. You guys know that the car can do much better when you drive it more on the cities. 70%, if not 80% of this driving distance is purely on the highway. So this is only going to go up if you drive a car in cities, and if you are a fuel efficiency friendly driver, which I never am. I'm repeating myself too much here, so please refer to the original video if you don't mind. So in a nutshell, this EV3 will give you on an average of 500 kilometers at a full charge from 100% to 0%, no matter what you do. I think it will be near impossible for you to go any lower than 500 kilometer figure. When the conditions are met, you will easily see and do 600 kilometers, and you will see even more than that. I've actually seen people do 800 kilometers on their EV9. You guys know how battery efficient that car is, right? You barely see 5-6 kilometers on that car. That being said, I even saw 10 to 11 kilometers per kilowatt hour on this EV3, me driving. All right, so the next one, does the brake light turn on when you are using the iPedal and regen brake kicking in? And we'd love to see some self-driving on the motorway, possibly with lane changes, including footage right now. It really helps with your long distance drives. I wouldn't say it's superior than other cars that already have the feature. It's pretty much identical and same, but I really don't see what the improvement can be made with the car. And also when you have a fast approaching car to the lane that you are trying to make the lane change to, even if the car is making the lane change, it will actually revert back, come back to its original lane, avoid that traffic, and will say conditions are not met. So there is also the safety precaution with the EV3. Next one, Niro EV and EV3 size comparison. I am including the footage right now. Second row middle seat comfort. Of course, it's not as comfy as it was on the first row seat, but thanks to that crazy recline you can get on the second row seat, you can easily go on a long distance drives. And I guess it's now a perfect time for me to switch over to the second row seat, show you the leg room that this car has. Let me put the seatbelt on to give you the more realistic look and feel of it. Sitting on the second row seat. So this is the first angle, but nobody is going to be sitting like this, right? So usually, I think I find it to be very relaxing and comfy, but look at that. It's not like I cheated, I pushed my butt all the way in. I'm just sitting as comfy as I would a usual. This is my usual sitting position. I can fit a fist here, no problem. It's not like I try to cheat and sacrifice driver's seat position in order to get this. That size right there, I want to say about 10 centimeters, but thanks to the seat design, it's actually carved inside in the middle. Although it doesn't really give you that much of an extra space, but it really feels like it's more roomy over here. But the huge plus here is that I can actually tuck my feet inside just like that. There is a huge difference of you being able to do this versus not. I already feel a huge difference doing this versus that. And if you go all the way back like this, if you suffer from motion sickness like my wife Dima does, she has a severe motion sickness, it is a huge difference, especially on an entry compact EV SUV like this Kia EV3. AC vents right in the middle. I can actually have it faced all the way to me. It actually gets the job done real nice. Like I can feel the AC hitting all the way up to here. That being said, there are two C-type charging ports, one on each side of the seats, and you can also control the passenger seat using this motorized button. And push this, the car will go into the relaxation mode, just like that. My wife Dima's favorite. So with a push of a button, you can go into the relaxation mode and you can come back from the relaxation mode just like that. All right, so let's move on. The next one, second row middle seat comfort. I mean, of course it's the worst seat of it all within EV3, but well, whoever fits in the middle, I think it will be quite okay to travel in the middle seat of this EV3 second row seat. Wonder did jiggly vibrating suspension was improved from the previous Kia e-Niro? Is the ride smooth? Of course, suspension set for the EV3 and EV3 only, but there is hydro bushing that's been applied. But most importantly, EV3 uses the EGMP, Electric Global Modular Platform, EV dedicated platform from Hyundai Motor Group family. You guys know that, right? Probably memorized it by this time because I've been going over and over and over about it. Thanks to the EGMP, EV3 was able to get a ridiculous amount of the wheelbase despite the size of this car being. Look at the physical size of this car and compare Kia Seltos or Kona Electric even. So that is actually the huge difference and benefit of using EV dedicated platform. So thanks to extended wheelbase, it contributes to very comfortable long distance drives, especially when you're cruising down the highway, freeway, including whenever I went over the speed bumps. It's truly, truly amazing. There is no jiggly noise that I've picked up at any point in time of test driving this vehicle. Be it the exterior, interior, motor, just any noise from the car. No, nothing, none of that. Even when I was cruising down on a fast speed on the freeway, there was nothing, none of that. And the charging speed, what is the maximum charging speed? I actually tried out on several rapid charging stations. It all varied, and I think the blame is on the charger. It was covered briefly at the end of the previous video, so please refer to that. So the highest number I've seen myself was somewhere around the 70 kilowatt figure. Other people have seen it go all the way up to 100 kilowatts. Can you measure the step in height and ground clearance? All right, so including that footage right now, I actually used a laser measure to give you the precise measure and the reading. How does Gia's AI assistant work? What can it help with? I asked the car what EV3 is, and then it will actually read off and give me some of those ChatGPT like answers. It's an electric vehicle from Gia. It goes over 500 kilometers. It is an affordable, well-priced car that will pretty much be loved in the market. And that was what the answer I got from the AI assistant, and I am reading it out loud to you. It only supports Korean for domestic model at the moment. Of course, when this car reaches where you are, it will have the language of your country and region. How does the driving position compare to your Seltos? I would say it's definitely lower than Gia Seltos. I can't believe the time is up. Like, I actually have to go back now because the car, I need to return the car. I've only gone over half of the questions. Wow. I guess I'll wrap up today's video like this. That's it for today's video. But if I can get my hands on a regular EV3 and other trims of the EV3, I will come up with more videos on it because each car feels different. The regular one actually looks different too, right? Don't forget to like and subscribe my channel if you did, and I will see you in the next video. And I actually have to go test drive that EV6 facelift, so this muscle memory is super fresh with me. I'll see you in that video. Bye-bye.